The following is a production of Corrupted Entertainment in association with The Joe Cronin Show. Listen to other episodes and shows on youtube.com/corruptedpodcast.
This is Corrupted. This is Corrupted.
Hey guys, welcome to Corrupted Entertainment. If you guys want to support the channel, the Patreon link is down below where you guys can support us. Also, on top of that, if you guys want to make a direct donation, the link is down below as well for that. Some people suggested they wanted to do that. They didn't want to do the monthly Patreons and all the other things. So if you just want to support the show randomly, then that link is down below too. That would be a big help. But let's move on to Donald Trump and the food stamps. We're also going to talk about elementary schools saying that you can't say no when someone wants to dance with you, which is crazy and creepy. But let's move on to the food stamp situation. So Donald Trump, I guess he wants to get rid of food stamps, or he wants to get some of food stamps. I haven't really read this yet.
Yeah, I'm just going to jump right in here. He basically wants to limit spending for the United States Department of Agriculture. He's redesigning the Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program, better known as SNAP. That's the EBT card, electronic benefits transaction card people get. Yeah, I have one currently. I'm disabled and I get government assistance for food each month, and it's not much, but every little bit helps.
And in your state, you just keep getting. I mean, from what I know of you in the last few years, they keep grabbing another piece of your pie.
Yeah, it's less and less each year.
Yeah.
Actually, because there was a slight increase this year, we got hit even harder. So
that's so
how
weird.
It works is they increased the cost of living nationally, and since they did that, it went ahead and I gained $19 in my disability check. So my food stamp went down like 60.
That's
yeah.
That's ridiculous.
So you literally you lose 40 because you gain 20. So
that doesn't make any sense. Doesn't help. It's the same thing with my income last year, but that, in a way. That's so messed up, though. But so, what does he want?
So Trump's proposed budget, released Monday, would gut SNAP benefits by $17.2 billion in 2019. That's 22% of the program's total cost last year. The USDA claims the new plan would save $192.2 billion over 10 years. Now, I'm not going to argue that, the amount of spending is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But what I will say is maybe instead of cutting what people can buy, or basically limiting what foods they can get, because they want to change it to like a Blue Apron
which is like
subscription plan.
That's like WIC.
Basically, yeah, that's exactly what they're going with. They want to give you a box that comes with set meals, and this box looks ridiculous. I'll go over the contents in a minute. But you have Democrat from Mass, Representative Jim McGovern, saying it's outrageous and a cruel joke. This sounds like something from the Great Depression, not 2018.
So let me jump in here real quick. This is once again a situation, unfortunately, a situation where the truth lies in the middle, because this is why things are just so screwed up in this country, and this is one of the reasons. And if you go this route of we're going to tell you what you can kind of eat, or here's what you can choose from to eat. Like, listen,
it's not even a choice. They're going to send you ready-made pastas, shelf-stable milk, so like powdered milk and things like that.
Oh, my
Pasta,
God.
Peanut butter, beans, canned fruit, poultry, fish, and vegetables. But it's all going to be like, freeze-dried or, ready to eat.
I get that, and like that's not like that's okay. Like, I mean, that's not we're not starving our people. Like, if that's the case, but let's look at it the other way now. Let's look at it when I did food stamps, right? When I was on food stamps years ago, and I had one child, we were getting $580 a month in food stamps, which was a lot for us. We thought it was pretty damn good. We go to the grocery store, and I'm not gonna lie, I would sometimes buy really good steaks. I would sometimes buy sushi. There was even a time, Jake, I'll admit this, there was a time one time when I spent the entire $500 there, or I spent almost all of it. And then the next time I went, I spent $400 of it. Then I dropped in $100 of my own money, because we don't like to go shopping. I go shopping once or twice a month, if not once.
Yeah, you like to just get it done.
But still, I spent $500 of EBT or whatever it was at the time, SNAP, and then I spent my own $100. Now, does that sound like somebody that desperately needs like so much food? You know, and I also bought sushi. So it's like I made the most and over the most of what I needed to do. And
yeah,
so
I mean, feasibly every month I get, for myself and my daughter, I get $250 in food stamps a month.
So you don't do that then. I mean, you have to be careful.
I have to put in cash.
Yeah, you have to be careful.
Most of it.
Like you're not buying like the crazy things. But I'm just saying that
I mean, it would be my absolute fat ass dream to go in and spend $500 on Gushers. You know what I'm saying? But
but that's my point, is how the system's a little messed up, because why did I end up getting $580 for me, my wife, and my kid? 3 people, and we ended up, you know, being able to buy all these things. And I said, you know, this is because I didn't always do that. It's just there was a couple times where I was there and I go, you know what, like we're just depressed. You know, I'm having sushi.
I get that.
I can do this. I'm having sushi. I'm having steak. You know, and
but it shouldn't be. It's your money to spend. So I don't. Even if you bought, you know, a $500 steak, it's your choice. That's how I've always felt.
I get it, but I could have probably. I could have lived a little better. I could have lived okay with about $350.
Yeah, absolutely. I see your point there. But that's my point. I think they need to go through it instead of limiting, you know, the families that need it, or, you know, they need to go ahead and cull spending. I think they need to go ahead and really research what families are over the spending limit. You know, I have a friend of mine who has 4 kids, granted, yes, but he's also working at a very good job, making a lot of money. And he gets almost triple what I get in food stamp because he has, you know, the 4th child. And it's like, I don't think he needs it personally. I genuinely don't, you know, pulling in over $600 in food stamps. And he's loving it because it's saving him all that money. But, you know, that money then that he saves in the grocery store, he's going on vacations with.
Yeah, see, it's like it becomes like a perk, and it's like it should be for desperation. So my point too is, well, instead of these overblown amounts that everybody's getting and people kind of treating it like another mini luxury in a way, or like something that sort of buffers them to enable them to go on vacations, it should be more treated with more respect and with a little bit more, I don't know what the word is, like caution or whatever.
Absolutely, yeah. But, you know, there should be more, you know, less reverence and more thought out, you know, procedures.
But the box delivery of that food that you were talking about, that's more like indentured servant type food.
Yeah, that feels like concentration camp-ish to me. Almost.
I mean, it's still more lavish than that. It's still better than that.
Severe. It's better than that, but I'm saying like that's almost what it reminds me of, like a prison food.
Yeah.
You know, less concentration camp. I shouldn't go that far, but more prison food.
Yeah, right. They're eating their friend in the next tent.
There's no gas showers, but
hey, remember Kim Lau? Well, you're eating him now. You know, back in World War II. No, but that was terrible. But
but no, I mean, and they're worried about Walmart taking a hit from this because 18% of all food stamps redeemed were at Walmart.
Yeah,
and that's the largest grocer in the U.S. And they're saying that this is going to affect 81% of all, you know, people on SNAP benefits. Well, if they're, you know, if 81% is 16 million people, you know, that's a problem if you have that many people on food stamps. I don't think you should come after people with disabilities. I don't think, but there's a lot of people out there that have a work history that either are getting paid under the table, or they're, you know, I don't even want to go into like, you know, undocumented things like that. You have people that are making money under the table. You have people that, you know, are in these weird brackets because they look at, you know, all right, you know, cost of living versus assets and things like that. I just think that they should look within the program rather than just do a gigantic cut and swipe of everyone.
Yeah, I mean, if you just downsize the whole thing by 10%, I think that would save a whole lot of money, and it would be justified too. But just getting rid of all of it and saying like, oh, you know, here we're going to create these cookie cutter meals.
We're going to give you this box to eat from. Which I can reassure you it's going to be anything but appetizing. We've received these type of things before. I've gotten it personally at Christmas time.
Ugh.
Well, this came from the Connecticut Food Bank itself. They would make up these packages, and I'm telling you, you would get things like, you know, freeze-dried apricots that are so black and you know, just like the most unorthodox foods that are like, you know, I don't think an alien would find this appetizing. And
I get that. See, the thing is, it's too far right now. Right now, it doesn't feel like you're poor if you're poor with some of the people. Not you, because what you told me you get Like, that's at the point where, yeah, you need to spend some of your own money a little bit to help out a little bit there.
A great deal, yeah.
But you're getting help.
You know, if you spend $140 a week on the low end, groceries are expensive, and that's just getting bare essentials.
I mean, your daughter's grown too. Like, at the time, my son was like 2 or 1, so it was like whatever. You know, he wasn't exactly eating a ton of whatever.
He wasn't consuming, you know, snacks and 3 meals.
But I didn't need I could tell you, like, when I was shopping, I said I don't need $5.80. So if you even just said 30% of the other people with food stamps don't need, you know, $5.80 or don't need $100 of what they're getting, I mean, you're talking about tons of savings there, millions.
I mean, you know, from the area that I've lived in most of my life, you know, a lot of people are on food stamps and whatnot, and it's just it's part of the, you know, the climate and the culture. And
I would also say that people with medical issues would be the ones that would receive more help because. And I mean real medical issues, not like Toby says he's got emotional problems, you know? Like, I'm talking about, like, physically,
that's what I was getting into.
You know, uncapable to work, like your situation. You know, and the worse the person is, the better the support, because, like, oh, Stan has no legs. You know, well, Stan should get a ton of money in food stamps to be able to help him, whatever. But, like, Jason, who's a perfectly healthy individual, like who went to college or whatever, you know, and he's living off $5.80 a month in food stamps. Well, some don't seem right there.
I've told you before, you know, there's a certain gentleman that lives up the street from me who has panic attacks, and I told you the only time he's on disability for anxiety attacks, the only time he gets anxiety attacks is when the cops chase him. And that's it. I've literally, I had a video on my old cell phone of him laying in the street holding his chest like, you know, what more do you want from me, as the cops are chasing him because, you know, he got caught for dealing. And that's the unfortunate side effect. But he was making almost $800 a month in EBT food stamps, and then you know, $1,100 or $1,200 at that point in time in disability, plus housing vouchers, plus, you know, everything else, and it's for one person. That's why they need to go through and really re-examine who's getting what, why, and how much. And they need to pay attention to disability itself. I can't go out there and stand for 8 hours a day and do certain things. I'm not supposed to lift over 25 pounds. You know, I have certain limitations from pain. But if I'm sitting behind a computer, why can't I do certain things? So I tried to go back into the workforce. I went through the Bureau of Rehab Services, and this was about, you know, 2.5, almost 3 years ago. And I followed the procedure and guidelines, and they got me in, and, you know, they focused on my culinary background, unfortunately, and I wasn't physically able to do the cooking, you know, on a scale like I used to. But 2 40-hour work weeks left me with 7 hours worth of pay. Both, you know, they took 73 hours of my paychecks from the 2 weeks that I tried to do the trial period to pay back Medicare, to pay back, you know, disability. And then they took money out of my disability check, too, for making money.
Right. Yeah, it's confusing.
I had a 7-hour paycheck, and I had less money coming in. And where did the other 73 hours go?
And you didn't know that. You know? So, I mean, you didn't know that either. So it's like there's no way for you to...
No, I didn't know that at that time. So basically, I killed myself to pay the government more, you know?
Yeah, which is not fair to you, and you didn't know. And what you're doing is, I mean, you're getting a lot of the honest stuff, you know. But like, even like,
there's a lot of dishonest people. Exactly. That's why
I was working a 40-hour job, not making a lot, $14 an hour, $13 an hour, and I was getting $5.80 a month in food stamps, and I had an apartment. You know, so it's like, I get that I could get help, but eventually when I was doing it, getting the help, I was saying, I'm like, man, there's a lot of people out there that need this probably more than me, and like, I don't need this much, but damn, they're gonna give me $5.80. Cool. I'm not gonna go say, hey, take this back. You know, I could use it.
Why should you? They decided that that's what you need.
So that's,
I mean,
that's
you even have 5% of the national SNAP benefits going towards Dollar Tree, you know, Family Dollar, Dollar General, those stores. People grocery shopping at the dollar store every month with how little they get.
Yeah.
And it's still not enough, you know, but 5%, that's a lot of people. You know, you go through 16 million people, 5% of all those people shopping at a dollar store to eat. You know, and both, you know, Dollar General and Walmart didn't respond for comment yet, but it's coming. You know, we're going to see massive changes. I just don't. I know it takes time, it takes manpower, and they want to go ahead and they want to, save as much money as possible. But I think there's other areas that they can save in before they start, going after food stamps and assistance like this.
Yeah, and you know what? I mean, the lefties out there are going to be like, here goes Trump. He's attacking poor people. You know what I mean? Like all this crap going on. And I kind of, to be honest, on this one, I sort of agree a little bit. Like out of all the things right now that you want to talk about, you're going to go into food stamps? Like right now? This is what those people were paranoid that you were going to do, some of these people. And I get that, like, yeah, they need to work harder and stuff like that. But you know what? Before you start mentioning all this stuff, devise a working plan that's actually going to help. And this is just scaring the shit out of people.
And it's you're literally just creating fear. And then that's the thing, because like I said before, we had Democrats, from Massachusetts. I said McGovern saying it was, outrageous and cruel. But then you have Republicans, like Alma Adams and people like this, saying it's expensive and unrealistic. And then Barbara Lee, who was another Democrat here, but, called it offensive. Then a Republican said, they were a single mother who once relied on food stamps to help feed their children. And they can't overstate how offensive this proposal is. Low-income families need more access to fresh produce and healthy foods, not less.
Inflation, dude. Inflation's going up. Everything is going up everywhere. Why would you start cutting this now? It makes no sense. If anything, you can do what we said, which was start to cut it over time as it makes sense, and you'll get back to a point that's manageable. But you can't just decide to this goofy idea about delivering meals, which I understand, but I just think that that's not right now. That's too much of an extreme for those people. And
absolutely,
I get it that many people are taking advantage of the system, but because I would say 30%, and I don't know the numbers, I don't really know them. Could be 50, I don't know, but I don't think it's that. I don't think it's everybody for sure. It's most people need it. But I would say 30% of them don't need it, or it's being abused in some way. Well, I'm not going to punish 70% of the other people because 30% of the people are getting away with something that you just need to fix. You don't need to take it away from everyone. You just need to fix it. Like the same thing with health insurance. You just need to fix certain things. Now, that being said, we got to get out of here. So we are going to get out of here. But guys, if you want to support us, I'm going to have a big update about maker support. Obviously, you can support me over on Patreon and my other Patreon. It's down below. But I'm also going to be launching on another support site, which is called Maker Support. And I've been talking with the guy that built the damn thing. And it's really cool. And that's going to be where you can support some of the stuff we do here on Corrupted. But we'll talk about that at a later time. But if you do want to help out, think about becoming a patron on patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show. This is Corrupted Entertainment. I'm Joe Cronin. That's Jake DeMarco. What do you guys think? Should we get rid of food stamps? Should there just be a slight adjustment? Should there be more food stamps? I mean, what do you think about what Trump is doing here? And in the next time we speak, we're going to talk about school dances because we didn't get to it here, but we'll get to it next time. School dances, they're saying you have to say yes at school dances if someone asks you to dance with them, which is...
Things have to change, but you got to think before you speak, I'm telling you.
That is so pathetic, dude. I can't even tell you.
When I heard that, oof. That was
Listen, real quick before we go, if you put 100 people in a room and you give everybody a ribbon, and then you tell all 100 people that they're all winners, and you keep them in the room, and then you keep telling everybody that they all win, and they're all good and good job, and patting them on the head, and then all of a sudden you open the doors and they get to go into another room, and 15 and only 15 of those people are going to make it. The other people are not going to ever have experienced loss or rejection. And they're going to freak the hell out. They're going to freak out. But if you lose a lot in life, you're going to just be used to it. Like, okay, I lost. Well, now let me try again. And then when you win sometimes, that's why you keep fighting. Because, like, okay, I lost a bunch and it was really tough, but now I won. So now I feel good about it. But if you just win all the time and then eventually you lose, you're screwed. And, George Carlin said in his last stand-up before he died, he said these kids never get to hear the truth about themselves. And then one day you're at work and someone says, "You're fired, Bobby! You're a loser, Bobby!" And they never heard it before. They don't know what to do. And that's what's going to lead to more people killing people and mass shootings and crybabies and complaints and changing of rules to fix people. Because everyone's going to complain and scream to complain because they have no idea how to deal with losing. Whereas me, a lot of times when something doesn't go right, a lot of times I might say out loud like, "Hey, F you, like this sucks." But in the end, I just chalk it up to, like we didn't get that one.
Yeah, it doesn't put you into a tailspin where, you're willing to go on a spree.
Yeah, but it puts these people into a mind freak out. Like they have no idea what to do.
You know, I've seen it so many times firsthand where they had a soccer tournament where they refused to keep score. You know, it was one of Courtney's cousins' teams playing. They just played at a national level. Now they get back to the town stuff, and we're not keeping score today. We just want everybody to have fun. Are you kidding me? What does that promote? What does that do? You just had these kids on the same team win on a national level, but they can't go ahead locally and play for keeps.
And it's not even that, too. It's like, I'm a stats guy, so I like to look over and see, what's the stat like? What are we doing? How are we doing? Like, how do you not like that?
How can we improve? How can we... Yeah, exactly.
Come on. Like, I mean, like... It's not even about like, oh, God, we won. You know, if you really want to do that, then make sure at the end of the game, everyone shakes hands and both teams like hug each other or something. Fine. If you want to do that and be all gay like that, fine. But yeah, but if you want to like, come on, like, you know,
you don't need everybody holding hands, but you know, you can. This is how you teach respect.
If you want to do that,
earned.
If you want to do that, then hold a scrimmage for kids to just come and play and whatever. Even in schoolyard crap, people keep track of scores because it means something then. Hey!
It should. It absolutely should mean something.
No. My son is pulling the wires out of the wall right now, so we got to go. Guys, thanks for listening. We'll see you guys next time. What do you think? Leave in the comments below. Hit us up at CorruptedPod on Twitter. And check out the 2-hour Corrupted podcast every week on patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show. And some free episodes are up on iTunes right now. Goodbye.